Good morning, beautiful. Welcome back to the channel. After we clean out the garage and took everything outside, we end up with all the mess in the backyard. And I did mention that we were probably going to buy a shed or make one. We went with a metal shed, but before we build that in, we have to build a sturdy foundation. And before we went to Lowe's and buy all the materials, my husband decided to start building the shed, the bottom part, so that way we can measure it and buy everything that we needed. The shed that we bought was a 10 by 13, and the materials that we needed for that were 2 studs of 2 by 4 by 16, 10 of 2 by 4 by 10, 5 sheets of plywoods that they were 3 by 7, and 6 concrete blocks that they were 8 by 8 by 8. As all of the projects that we do at home, we did this one as a family. And before you guys come after me, we are not professionals. Everything that we shared and heard is with the intention of showing you guys how we do it and hopefully learn from our mistakes. I'm really happy that my husband is always able and always in the mood of doing all these projects. So they started by building the box and used the 2 studs that there were 2 by 4 by 16s on each side. And then from there, they used the 2 by 4 by 10, but they had to trim that one smaller in order for it to be 10 by 13. So he did that with all of the 10 studs. Once they had all of the measurements of the right measurements, they started putting them together with nails. They started with the each end first, and then they used a triangle ruler to make the right measurement so that the box can be level. Once they had all that together, they started making holes on each side to put in the concrete blocks. They only had to dig in holes on the corner against the wall. So that way, once we were done with the box, we were able to put it on the top of the concrete blocks and level them up. Once those were done, they started to put in all of the 2 by 4s by 10 in the middle, so that way that the foundation can be more sturdy. They put all of the studs 2 feet apart from each one, at least the big ones. And then with all of the leftover, they made a smaller cuts and add in another studs in the middle every 22.5 inches apart, so that way that the box can be more sturdy. By this time, they digged in some dirt on each side of against the wall to put in the block cements. Like I said at the beginning, they only had to dig in 2 holes against the wall since our backyard is going down, and we had to put all the cement blocks in level, so that way by the time we were done with the box, we were ready to put it on top of the blocks. Once they were done, they did that. They put the box on top of the cement blocks, and they used 6 of them, 2 on each end, and then they added 2 in the middle. For the rest of the cement blocks, they didn't have to dig in a lot of dirt, but they did a little bit in the middle. If you guys can see how my backyard is going down, and he didn't want it to dig in more dirt against the wall, because when it rains, the water has to have to fall down. So that's why digging in dirt and making sure that the box was level. So they did use the level to make sure that the box was in place. And so once the box was in place and it was level, it was time to add in the sheets of plywood. And they used a lot of nails to keep those in place. He actually put all of the nails 6 inches apart from each one. And that was it. Once we were done adding all of the plywood, all they had to do was just to put the frame on top, making sure that we did the box properly, and they did. I hope that this was helpful in some way. Maybe if you guys want to build something later on the future. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this, and stay tuned for part 2 of the shed, or let me know if you guys want to see part 2 on how we build the shed. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not part of the family, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Somewhere